Well, good evening, listeners. I'm Artfan. I'll be your host for this evening's edition of Homestuck 411, the podcast where we keep you up to date on all Homestuck fandom information.
Wait
book.
a minute.
Hey, what? Dude,
I don't like where this is going.
Am I in the wrong place? I thought
this is a really bad joke.
That was. I could have sworn this was the Homestuck forums. I mean, okay.
No.
Oh God,
Never.
You guys are all bronies, aren't you? Oh, jeez.
Unfortunately, yes.
I know where I am. I know what this is. This is Pony 411. That's what this is.
You've come into the wrong neighborhood.
We don't appreciate them Homestucks.
Oh man, I know exactly where I am. I'm on Pony 411, your weekly pony podcast where we talk about all things pony related in the news and in the fandom. With me tonight, I have the usual members. Going over here, we have 4-string.
I'm so high right now.
As usual.
Of course.
Except I'm not. I'm just kidding.
Of course. That's what they all say. Over next to him, we have LordFunkyFist over there.
I'm not high.
Over where? Where are you, Funky? Why can't I see you?
I'm right next to you. It's like, you really need to lay off all that pumpkin beer.
Over there.
You just have to believe, 4-string.
Over there. Spread the word. Spread the word. Over there.
It's like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yanks
I am over there.
Yanks are coming.
Moving
Oh
on.
God. And then, last but not least, bringing up the rear, we have Nemesis.
I see. Put me last.
Last but not least, man. Save the best
I'm
for
still
last.
putting me...
Wait, but
Come on,
isn't technically
Nemesis.
Fusion last?
Don't rear your ugly head or anything.
I'm
What do
gonna
you
punch
think you are?
so hard. That's my gig.
I vote we replace Artfan with 4-string.
Wait, does that mean
everything.
I get to be 4-string?
I play 2
No.
roles every day.
Does that mean
You
I
get to
drink
play
pumpkin beer the whole
Fusion.
podcast?
You can't be here again.
I was gonna say. Well, if I'm gonna play that part, I'll just sign right off. Yes, that's right, folks. Unfortunately, Fusion is still having internet trouble, so he will not be with us once again this week. We hope, pray to God that we can get him maybe next week if the internet gods come to his house to fix his internet. But otherwise, we're just gonna keep on trucking without him. And tonight, we're gonna launch right into your weekly quick hits for the evening.
Quick hits.
Oh,
That's
wow.
right. That's right. So, up first on the docket, we have a post on the Top Draw Animation website hints at the possibility of a My Little Pony movie, due mainly to its inclusion of a planned DVD on which one 66-minute video would be shown. The completion date is listed as December 21st. Could this be the MLP film that's been rumored / hoped for?
We called it. I
Exactly.
hope.
Yep.
We
You
did
heard it here
indeed.
first, folks.
Well,
You.
it's one of the places that you heard it. We definitely
sort
did
of
mention
heard
it
it
a couple
here
weeks
first.
ago, and
We hope it's the best one.
That'd
you
be
heard
awesome.
from.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Definitely.
And I did notice when this news broke, a lot of people said, 66 minutes is too short for a movie. But this has been done before, particularly like the original Transformers animated movie. It was 66 minutes long, and later on they split it into 3 episodes at 22 minutes a pop so they could show it as part of Season 3. So this is possible they'll split this one and show it as a part of a season later.
Oh, I'm sure.
Bam!
Yeah.
The epic 3-parter MLP episode.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah, moving on down from that. So, Oppan Gangnam Style, one of the biggest crazes ever to hit the internet, has already received the pony treatment a few times over. Now, We Love Fine is throwing its hat into the mix with 2 new Gangnam Style themed My Little Pony shirts to go along with the rest of its newest inventory, which includes new designs for Rarity, Derpy, and Celestia.
And I've seen them, and they're all pretty good.
Yes. Yeah. I really like a lot of the new designs that we love fine, but I'm really digging the Gangnam Style stuff. I'm hoping they'll have them at Candlelight Gardens this weekend, and if they do, yeah,
You just snag yourself
Buy
a couple.
all the shirts.
that'll be a thing I'll be having.
I'm actually wearing a We Love Fine shirt right now.
Do you love it pretty fine?
Yes.
That's good.
Would you say it's a fine piece of clothing?
Go away, Art.
You're not allowed to joke.
I like that
Oh,
derpy
man.
one. That's one
Yes.
I'll definitely get, but yes.
Moving on down here, The Brony Health Group, formerly the Brony Weight Loss Group, is looking for experienced writers to help create content for its new website. Writers interested in health, nutrition, physical activity, and fashion should send an email application to dudebrobrony@gmail.com, and we will throw that email in the podcast description for you guys that might want to revisit this. Obviously, it being physical fitness, that applies to none of us here on this podcast.
That is untrue.
What makes you say that?
Untrue. I resent those remarks.
And that's true. 4-string does a lot of exercise. Lifting up those beer bottles can get pretty strenuous sometimes.
I do that.
Do you have any idea how heavy kegs are?
Exactly, guys.
He's the world champion in the national keg lift. So.
No, I wouldn't be. I do it while I was running, okay? Running from the cops because I shouldn't talk about that.
Because they're trying to catch you riding dirty.
They caught me, actually.
You have a court order to not ride dirty anymore.
Oh, man. So, yes. As per a tweet from Michelle Kreber, the Brony fandom, I should say, was recently featured in a segment on Canada's CBC Radio. And we will throw that link in the podcast description as well for you guys to check it out.
And we're literally going to throw it, so you better look out, because it's coming right at you. Like,
right
what's
now.
that?
Oh, God. It's like a freight train coming your way.
It is.
And
And now Art's bringing trains into it.
Oh, no, that was a Metallica lyric.
Yeah, so, I mean, actually, we've hit a both.
Metallica.
He's brought in Metallica, trains, and Homestuck into this podcast already in like the first 7 minutes. So
I'm sorry, listeners.
I have not yet begun to fight.
I am so sorry.
Oh, it'll only get better. You'll see.
And I actually listened to it. I just wanted to say real quick, I actually listened to it. It's a pretty nice one. It's pretty short too, so you don't have to listen to it for too long. Not like us, but we're entertaining enough to listen, right?
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Exactly. What he said. What this guy said. This guy knows what he's talking about right here. So yes, new pony merchandise has been confirmed by Taobao, including a set of movable pony figures as part of the Crystal Empire line. Also part of the announcement is a new set of blind bag ponies, which include 8 new figures that are G4 updates of G3 characters.
Now we can call them action figures.
Yeah! It's not as girly anymore.
I was gonna say you could play with them and feel a little less shame as you.
Exactly.
I don't feel shame at all.
Now we're just waiting for like the Kung Fu Grip and like the Action Kick Applejack and.
Please.
No, that would be pretty cool to have like an Applejack that like kicks her legs and it comes with like a little tree with like apples that fall off. But now that I think about it, that
Kick
might
your sister in the face. Actually, the market would probably be marketed toward sisters kicking their brother in the face, but.
No, but like instead of like those incredible Hulk fists, it's like an Applejack hoof that you put on your leg.
Oh God. Oh boy. the hottest trends this Halloween, brought to you by the pony fandom.
I'm patenting that right now. I'm gonna make millions.
Quick.
Kick some of that our way, man. Definitely. Now moving right along from that, French bronies rejoice. As per an
Sacre
image
bleu.
Sacre bleu. As per an image on the French McDonald's website, it appears that the restaurant franchise will begin carrying My Little Pony toys, much akin to those offered in the U.S. earlier this year, with a release date planned for October 17th. That is this year.
The only difference is they have top hats and monocles.
No, but berets.
I
was going to say they're French, not British.
Oh, damn it, I messed up
You're
that
mixing
joke.
up your stereotypes, Funky.
I think I may have had a little bit too much of 4-strings beer as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Start the podcast over.
Yeah, oh, no. Game over, man. Game over. Yes. Now, in convention news, Equestria LA has announced Adria Libman and Brenna Critchlow as guests of honor.
That'd be Andrea Libman and Brenda Critchlow.
Yes.
Yes, what he said.
I might have actually pronounced the latters wrong too. That's the first I've seen her name, but
anyway, those two people will be guests of honor at the November convention. This will be the first con appearance for Critchlow, who is the voice of Zecora. So you Zecora fans, it's pretty cool stuff coming down the line for you guys.
And I believe Forestring can actually run faster than Zecora, if I remember correctly.
That is true. I do recall hearing something.
We did have a race. We did have a race one time, and I'm not going to say I won, except I did win, actually. So I am saying that.
Did you get any medals?
Yes.
Did you get any shrunken heads?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay.
Well, before we can go into too much detail of Forestring's Zecora
she
race
shrunk
winnings,
more things too. You don't want
to. Yeah. Before we can go into detail like that, Canterlot Gardens will play host to Andrew Francis, the voice of Shining Armor, at this weekend's convention. The con also announced the inclusion of Everfree Radio's Brony Breakdown Show and Enterplay, the company behind the My Little Pony trading cards. The convention will also premiere a new ad from the Brony Thank You Fund, which will reveal what the fund's Kickstarter was able to accomplish. The ad should be debuted during the closing ceremonies Sunday afternoon, and we will provide links about that in the description because it seems like pretty cool stuff to check out.
Certainly.
Now then, interested in singing pony tunes but don't want to croon all by your lonesome? Well, a new project known as the Brony Choir is looking for interested singers and composers to contribute. Singers must email an audition in the form of the song The Heart Carol, arranged by Reed May Star. A download for all parts of the song is available on the choir's YouTube page, and we will also post that YouTube page in the description for all of you musically inclined bronies and fellow fans out there.
Are you going to record something, Art?
If it involves a drum set or a bass guitar, I'd love to contribute, certainly.
You should sing, actually. You can sing.
I can sing, just probably not what they're looking for. I mean, if they want a James Hetfield clone, then I can give that to them, but
I think it'd be pretty cool. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
I mean, give me some time to think about it. I might drop an email in there. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Now the bigger one on the quick hits here. The big one, the best for last. Italian TV blog, tvblog.it, recently ran an article announcing the release of the show's Season 2 in the country, but it may also have unintentionally spoiled the release time frame for Season 3. Shock. Via a translation, it states that the third season of the show will run in October as well, either meaning that Italy will not see Season 3 until next October, or that those in the US will be getting the show's new season next month. And we will post...
Whoa,
we will definitely post up that link for you because that's something to read up on. For all you hardcore fans.
Predict an October release a couple episodes ago? I
think we did.
Because that's what I'm guessing. Although some people are now hearing November because we haven't heard anything. That I can't remember if it was the Hub Twitter or the My Little Pony Twitter. One of the two I think said something about we're less than 30 days away from announcing the premiere of Season 3, and it's like. So you're announcing that you're going to announce something.
Yeah, I remember seeing
why.
That's just like Apple did with the new phone. They announced that they were going to announce it before they announced it.
Didn't Prometheus do the same thing where a teaser trailer of the teaser trailer?
Yo, dog, we heard you like announcements, so I put an announcement inside your announcements. You can announce while you announce.
Oh, Art, always behind memes by like 3 years.
It's okay, Art.
I did say they don't let me out
always
much.
Be funny. Oh,
now then.
But
on the note of that last quick hit, though, I want to dive into what could turn into an interesting discussion point.
Oh no!
Now, with the possible news of Season 3 coming out next month, what are some things that you guys want to see in this potential season? What is your Season 3 wish list? What do you want to see happen?
Twilight Sparkle.
Okay. Well,
yes, I think I have this feeling that that's going to happen.
Really?
So I think you're going to be okay.
All right.
I mean, it's not like Twilight Sparkle's one of the main six or anything like that. I mean, she's one of the background characters. For sure.
It should become the Twilight Sparkle show.
Who knows though? She might have gotten killed off in the off season. No, actually, she wouldn't because we've already seen stuff. What would you do if they just decide if Tara Strong?
Wait,
decided?
I know what they could call it.
I would drive to Vancouver and ask them, and then there'd be trouble.
I know
Lots
what they
of
could
it.
call it. Nemesis, you're going to love this. They could call it
Oh God.
the Twilight Zone.
Okay, everyone. Nemesis's silence right now is totally normal. Just let him calm down for a second. There may be a scream forthcoming. I'm not sure, but we're gonna get through this.
That is Nemesis. That's the sound of Nemesis getting on an airplane and coming here to destroy me. So we'll see how much longer I go on this podcast before he comes and strangles me for my jokes. But
Twilight Sparkle presents a Twilight Sparkle show starring Twilight Sparkle with their host Twilight Sparkle.
Yes. But seriously.
But seriously, guys.
Twilight.
Seriously, where'd the lighter fluid come from?
it could be a sparkling example for the rest of the show.
You stop it now.
Why do we let him do this?
I don't know. Whose
you
idea
love me.
was it?
It was my idea,
It
actually.
was Fusion's.
We're just gonna blame Fusion for everything until he comes on the show finally.
He's gonna come on the show, and his first episode, all the comments for that episode are gonna be like, "Everything's been your fault, man. What the heck's going on?" And he's gonna be like, "What did I do?"
So how about that season 3?
So yes, season 3 wish list. Everybody, go.
All at once, you mean?
Well, let's. We could go in an order. Everyone just speak your mind. What's on your mind about what you want to see in season 3?
Funky, what do you want to see?
I don't know. Never see. Actually, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I've composed quite a list. So let me just bring that out here. And
oh God.
Okay. First off, more
Sounds
Lyra
like
and
a long
Bonbon. Second, more Twilight. Third, first is Twilight. I wrote that twice actually. Third, no Trixie. Fourth, replace Trixie with Twilight. And
wait, wouldn't that mean no Twilight if you're replacing Trixie with Twilight? And you want no Trixie?
There's no Trixie because we're replacing Twilight with Trixie. Or we're replacing Trixie with Twilight. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're gonna have two Twilights?
Yes.
I'm okay with this.
Oh God, what?
Nemesis will get his Twilight on Twilight action.
So we're gonna see a return of the clones, which is to say, return of the changelings, I guess.
No, but seriously, I'm not exactly sure what I would really want from the show. I mean, first off, I think the biggest thing I would probably want is possibly more villains, and I think they've been kind of delivering on that, because I think, as we've mentioned once before, that the first season had like one kind of villain at the beginning, or not kind of, like we had Nightmare Moon at the beginning, and second we started off with Discord and ended with Chrysalis, so it looks like they're slowly taking on a little bit more villainous characters. So it's like by the third season maybe we'll have a little bit more than the second season if that pattern keeps up. Because
definitely,
yeah, like the older My Little Ponies definitely, or at least the first season of My Little Pony had, if I remember correctly, because I haven't seen them all, had quite an array of bad guys. I'm trying to think of the name, like, you know, kind of like Batman has his villains, and I think they had their recurring villains, but I don't know if any of them were recurring. But yeah, it'd be interesting if they kept, like, you know, if they did something like that, had a little bit more. But I don't know, that's just like one little thing, because I think in the end, I think all of us could say that it doesn't really matter what, you know, if they put something we want or if they end up putting something we don't like. But I think in the end we're all gonna still like it anyway. But I know there's that select few fans that I've seen who get really angry at some episodes, and
I've seen them.
Yes.
I've seen them.
As long as the quality bar stays where it has been, I will definitely like it. But I'd actually like to see like a overarching plot. I'm not sure if we'll ever get that, but it'd be nice to have an overarching story just throughout the season. But it is a shorter one, so we might get that, we might not. Also, I agree with Monkey on the fact that I'd like to also see like villains more often, I guess.
I have a couple things that I've thought of. One thing, and I'll start off with it because it's probably the most controversial in that most people will disagree with me here. But
Lyra
I want to
and Bon Bon.
see. No. Yes, I want to see their love realized,
And they adopt a child, and
a Canterlot Wedding Part 2. Lyra
with
and
special
Bon Bon.
with special host Tori Spelling.
Oh yes, she would be all over that. I kind of want to see Trixie back. And a lot of people.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know a lot of people, despise Trixie. And I think it'd be really funny, especially. See, I'm a little torn with the whole Trixie thing because part of me wants her to come back and have been reformed, and then like everybody's like still distrusting of her or something, and she's like trying to change opinions of herself or whatever, and then she ends up being like a nice whatever that comes back every once in a while. The other part of me wants to totally go against that and have her be an even worse pony than before.
That's what I mean. That's what I kind of want, actually.
So that everyone's fanon gets really screwed up because, the big thing about Trixie is in this fandom really has been how, bad she was in that episode, but then, how everybody's just like, oh, she's just misunderstood. I think it'd be really funny if it's like, nope, she's actually really sucks, guys.
She's just a jerk.
I'm saying
failure.
I want to see Trixie not because I like Trixie necessarily, but I just think either one of those storylines I think would be interesting to me. The latter because I think it'd be funny to see her body so apologetic for her, and the former because I don't know. I mean, obviously that very much contradicts itself, but. I think it'd be definitely interesting. In terms of an episode I really want to see, and this will probably shock no one here, I really want to see an episode that kind of centers around the Wonderbolts. Yeah, I'd really like to see something that kind of goes into who they are, why they exist, where that came from, and
how did Soren get obsessed with pie?
Yes, that is the main thing. Actually, I just want to see Soren again in general. I enjoy Soren quite a bit. Not as much as Spitfire, but I do enjoy Soren. I think it'd be really interesting. And then of course, you got Dash with her whole I want to join the Wonderbolts thing, and obviously the other ponies can be up there in I would assume Cloudsdale for this, but unless if they came to Ponyville or I don't know, but. I haven't really figured out how it would work, but I would like to see something kind of maybe given more of a backstory to them, because I don't feel like we have too much of one yet, other than they're just kind of like a flying team, and that sort of thing. And they tend to be my like Spitfire and Soren tend to be my favorite.
Potentially be a branch of the military based on what we saw in
there was that too. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. And see that's
a really
so
bad one at that.
Well, yeah. But see, that's what's so interesting about them is like there are so many different things that they've done so far that's like, what are they? What actually does all of that encompass? And I would just like to see a little more background. Plus, like I said, Spitfire and Soren are some among my favorites in the show, even though we've seen them so little. So,
OTP forever.
Absolutely. You are not going to tell me no on that. I've heard rumblings of a Rarity and Octavia duet at some point.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, that was like one of their early stuff.
Quite honestly, I would love that. I would love really any Pony/Octavia duet. I just want to see an Octavia. I would love to see Octavia, referenced and like, speak, do something cool. It's funny because I'm actually on a forum right now where I'm looking at a poster whose name is Octavia, so that just made me laugh. But anyway, basically, I would love to see, and I think the Rarity Octavia duet would probably work the best, at least in my head. But I would love to see something like that, and that goes for a lot of the background ponies, like not just Octavia. I'd like to see maybe something kind of like along the lines of like what we got with Derpy, minus the whole Derpy gate. I'd like to see something that's, gives them maybe some slightly more lines. I don't know. Speaking of which, I would like to see Derpy again pop up. I really would. And I hope she continues to, actually pop up in the show, as like an Easter egg, as she's been here before. I would like to see that continued, and I'd like to see her.
Of course, I love it.
No
one will
actually
argue
maybe
with
pop
that.
up. Absolutely. And other than that, I kind of echo the sentiments that has already been said. Villains would be cool. I'm actually someone who really enjoys the simple episodes where it's just like, there's a problem, you fix it, and it's not really so much of a villain as it is just like just a problem. I would like to see something. I would like to see a lot of those, but villains are definitely interesting, and I love how they've done them so far. So I'd love to see them, keep happening. And then the overarching story is something that I've kind of had on my wish list since season 1. Although I can never figure out how it would work. I feel like this is possibly the best shot they ever have for that. With this whole 13 episode thing, because a 26 episode thing, I don't know.
Exactly, yeah.
It's tough to envision because of the fact that, at the end of the day, this is still a children's show that is not really, whose demographic I don't think is really necessarily more as geared toward that, but they could be. I mean, I don't know if it's ever been tried before, and this could be it. It'd be really cool for them to strike a balance between, as they have been, between, like us and the target demographic in terms of creating an overarching story that actually, keeps us both entertained. That'd be very, very cool. And finally, more songs. Especially much like what we saw in the finale of season 2. Those songs are absolutely wonderful, I think. I mean, I'm not as much Love Is in Bloom as the other two. I enjoy the other two more than I do enjoy Love Is in Bloom, but I still think it's a decent song, to be wrong here. But I loved, especially the Stay aria with a kind of definitely a musical theater kind of feel to it. I would love to see more stuff like that. And of course, that's just a wonderful villain song, half villain song. And I think all the villains should have songs. Like if Discord comes back, he should sing.
He starts singing. He's like, "Chaos is such a beautiful word."
Oh God! Oh God!
Anything with John Delancey in it, I will be there to watch. I just want to say.
Oh, absolutely! I'm sure he'll come back eventually.
He already confirmed that he did more voices for season 3 at one point.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah, he did. He confirmed he did more voice work. So it's like, is it Discord again? Is it a flashback? That's what kind of part of what spurred the possibility of an overarching story. Is because are we going to see a flashback to when the princesses were fighting him, or what? Is he going to Discord going to actually come back, or is he just voicing someone else?
Yeah, that's a very. I mean, I totally forgot about that, but you're right. That was something that was mentioned. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing John Delancey back. Period. Even if it is somehow happens to be for another character. I'm gonna guess it's probably Discord, and I would prefer it to be actual Discord, not flashback Discord. But it is. I mean, I'll take whatever I can get, really. I mean, especially just to keep Delancey around, because we don't want to have to keep bringing him back year after year, despite only having that one thing, So
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I've rambled on for a very long time, and that's about all I can think of off the top of my head right now in terms of what I would like to see. But make no mistake here, I am a very gracious watcher. I will pretty much just take whatever they give me, and as long as it's not horrible, and I'm pretty easy to please, I will say that. As long as it's not pretty horrible, I'll probably enjoy it no matter what. So, yeah.
It'll be funny that if Octavia speaks more and they use Derpy's voice.
I would love to have for Octavia to have that the voice that she kind of has in a lot of the Fanimations, kind of along the line of Vinyl Scratch. I think it'd be really cool if the voices were very similar to that, or even if they were somehow able to get those voice actresses, even though it would be pretty crazy to do. But you never know. Also, I want to see. I think it'd be really cool. And this is probably not going to happen, but if it so occurred that the show used a song or something that like maybe was created by someone in the fandom, like say they took a Mando Pony song, maybe not one that's already been made, but commissioned him to write something, so on and so forth. I think it'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe even if he came in and like sang one of the songs, I don't know. But that's more of a very, very out there, far-fetched thing.
I can only imagine the reaction that could possibly cause.
Oh boy,
man, that would be a thing. A thing indeed.
This is add in going back to the villain thing for the thing. I just remembered that we had the way back when there was like files someone found in somewhere on like the site on the like the official site somewhere, like that pointed at some sort of new villain because it was like some alicorn male guy who like had fire eyebrows or something. He's like black and red.
Wait, this sounds like someone's original character.
Yeah, but yeah, some people did remark it looks a lot like an original one of those OCs you hear so much.
They
crap
stole
about,
my
but it's
character!
like...
Oh my god! I clearly stated do not steal.
Yeah, but
so
that's one thing. It's like if this was found in the official files, you got to think, yeah, they cooked up someone as a villain for some point. So we're gonna see at least one villain for sure, I would think, at some point in the season. And going back to what Force Ring said about Trixie coming back, I just remembered something I thought would be kind of funny is if, she came back, she's still a jerk. And, people like her have a tendency to blame other people, even though it's really not their fault. And I have this funny idea of her just coming back and deciding to get revenge on that purple pony. And all of her revenge schemes just completely failing and like Twilight not even noticing.
that would be very amusing, I have to say.
It'll basically turn into like a Looney Tunes episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can get behind that.
I'd watch that over and over again.
Of course you would.
Because, I don't really... I'm one of those people, it's like, I know a lot of people hate Trixie, and I don't really like Trixie either, but then again, it's like, I kind of like the character because it's like she's there so good at being hated. It's like she's so good to easy to hate. It's like that's kind of why I like her, because I hate her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've definitely heard people give that line of reasoning for Trixie, so then it definitely makes sense to me.
Yep.
So, anybody else got anything to add to this discussion about Season 3 at all?
Oh, I want to see Rainbow Dash dress in style.
Rarity gets sick and Dash helps to agrees to help.
Body swap episode. Yes. Rarity and Rainbow Dash swap.
Oh god.
Boom.
That hasn't happened. God, that would be really interesting. Actually,
I'm surprised the body swap episode hasn't happened yet.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
you got magic, and it's a cartoon staple. It's like I'm surprised it hasn't happened. I'm just wondering if they're like gonna do it like one episode, like all 6 of them switch around in some way.
Well, I think that's kind of a cartoon cliche in a way. That's why it hasn't been done, because
all your puns are cliche. It didn't stop you.
Well, that's different.
And they've certainly done other cliches already in the show, so it's not like it would be
I suppose
different. So
hopefully soon they'll do the cliche.
I think we can see that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Hopefully, maybe one day they'll have a cliche episode where someone shrinks down into a spider and they have to figure out how to get back to pony form.
Yes,
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're doing.
What could you possibly be talking about?
You're talking about that one fic. You're talking about that one fic, cupcakes.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think they'll ever do cupcakes.
I think they should do an episode that's called Cupcakes, and everybody freaks out, but it actually has nothing to do with it, but like they still call it.
Yes.
Or like something called Rainbow Factory, and everybody's just like, wait.
They have an episode called Sweet Apple Massacre.
I'm so tired from massacring all these apples because I ate them and didn't kill anyone. Wink.
Dear God.
And that's how the episode
ends.
This podcast. Oh God, that'd be scary. Also, I want to see more Big Lebowski ponies.
Yes, I agree.
Although in general, I'm just so excited to see what random references they'll throw in again this year. just like Big Lebowski, Harry Potter, Rent is Too Damn High guy. Can't think of anybody else off the top of my head right now, but I mean, there's been plenty others.
There's so much stuff they threw in there. It's crazy.
I know a few references they could throw in there.
Like what?
You know. Homestuck.
No, I don't. No, never.
I thought you were going to go with like Sonic or something.
Well, yes, Sonic, of course. That's always a big one. One of my favorite things that has ever existed. But as far as ponies goes, I do have to say that I agree with you guys on having an overarching story for season 3. I like shows that have overarching plots where you have this massive character arc that all comes full circle, and they still have. There's plenty they could draw from to do that, and they still have plenty of time to do that. So it's something I hope they definitely try to move forward with in season 3. I think it would even pull in more viewers than it already has to develop a story with such a great closed arc.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it'd be really interesting. It's just, it seems so unlikely, I think, but I think that's
you never know.
I think that's what fanfics are going to be for in the end. Maybe like the movie, but
we shall see.
We will indeed.
Better be soon.
Also,
Maybe like
Tori
tomorrow.
Spelling should voice a character.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah.
I think she should.
Tori Spelling will voice Octavia.
Do you know what I think we should do? I think we should probably move on to the next segment.
Which is something for
the next segment?
Which
It was like the next Shrekment.
The next segment's gonna be burying 4-string in a swamp somewhere.
Ogres live in swamps.
And they're like onions.
And they have
Ogres
layers.
have layers.
Why is this still going on? Okay.
It will never end.
No. Oh, it's gonna end because
This
the
is your
next
punishment
segment.
for Homestuck stuff.
Punishment.
That was really lazy, even for you.
Yeah, well, I'm generally a lazy guy, so you guys don't pay me for the good stuff. Moving on.
We don't pay you at all. None of us get paid.
Exactly.
Wait,
Except
Which is why it's a good time to move into the interview that 4-string did for the week. And I'm going to hand it over to him to explain the details of that. 4-string, what do you got for us?
thank you for handing over the thing that you just handed over.
I
to
will
me.
hand the reins.
Here,
reins over
we're handing
you.
over reins now. Okay.
I see you handed over in a nice little envelope and everything.
I bless these reins that down in Africa that you have handled. Anyway, I did an interview this week with none other than Calpain from Equestria Daily. If you don't know who that is, well, you probably don't read Equestria Daily then, so that'd be weird. But he is one of the blog authors on the website, which is one of the largest websites in the fandom, big news site, and I decided to talk to him a little bit about a couple things, including, how he came to Equestria Daily and what he thinks of the site, in relation to what a lot of people think of the site in terms of like fans, like us, things such as, like for instance, there have been criticism levied that it's nothing more than a content aggregator, for instance. And I wanted to talk to him about that, as well as get some insight into what's going on for Canterlot Gardens this weekend, because he'll be there. So, let's take no more time and dive right into that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Calpain from Equestria Daily.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. Thank you, as always, for being on the Pony 411 podcast.
Hey, no problem.
All right, so we're just going to jump into the questions here. The first one I have for you, you've probably been asked this before, but I'm still very curious. A wise man named Pitbull once said that to understand the future, we got to go back in time. So I got to know, how did you actually get this gig with Equestria Daily?
In a way, I almost don't know. It's a very weird thing. We've all kind of sort of gotten into this whole Equestria Daily gig by, almost happen chance, it seems like. My best guess is that back in, oh geez, I think May about 2011 or so, I started sending information into Equestria Daily, everything from like comics, plushies, customs, all that sort of stuff. And for very many months, all the way through like December of 2011, I kept sending these emails in. I would usually send in about maybe 2 or 3 a day, and a lot of the stuff got posted. One day when I was doing the December draw of an event that happened sometime last year, Seth said, "Hey, why don't you just post this yourself?" And it completely floored me because I was not expecting this at all. And I was like, "Really? Seriously? You're going to let me post on this blog?" And he said, "Yeah, sure. You do some good work, and we'd like to have you on the team." So December of 2011, I got accepted on the team. Posted my very first post, which was the third week of the December draw off, and I've been on the site ever since. I guess I'm actually getting close to my first year anniversary, which is kind of scary.
Absolutely. So does it become hard to put this much into the website? I mean, like, Equestria Daily is such a big website, and it's doing so many things per day. I mean, do you ever kind of feel like you get sort of a Equestria Daily or pony burnout in a way?
Maybe a little bit. The roundups at the end of the day are what get me the most. Sometimes I need to actually really go to bed, and I procrastinate a little too much, and it's like 3 a.m. and there's a roundup to do, and there's 20 or 25 emails in the inbox. And I'm like, oh boy, I'm staying up till 5 a.m. doing this. Oh boy, but it's worth it in the end. I mean, even though I might have some, a little bit of like, I really should be going to bed early. Man, I'm gonna fall asleep in my classes tomorrow. It's really worth it to give the information to the fans.
Okay. Equestria Daily, I would say, has, this is obviously not a thing that's with everyone, but with some people I've heard, it's definitely taken some criticism for being, at least in some eyes, more of a content aggregator more than like an actual like traditional news site. How would you respond to those allegations?
Well, I wouldn't say they're not exactly true. We do gather a lot of information from the people that graciously send us stuff in, and we really appreciate that. Our purpose is to mainly allow people to see the information in a very centralized location. We try to very much, have features of our own to highlight things and things like that. Like right now, we're currently working on some editorial things that we're, doing meetings on, and we also try to do individual features that we have interest in. Like I know Serial Velocity in the past has done like spotlights of people's live streams and stuff like that. I'm currently doing things like Tumblr spotlights to help highlight the Tumblr community, and also Fee, for instance, who has done the artist training grounds. So while we do aggregate a lot of information and stuff like that, we very much like to be involved in the community and stuff like that, and try to make it thrive, try to develop it a little bit.
Okay. Now, with Equestria Daily being one of the biggest voices in the community, is there a sort of anxiety that comes with the title when it comes to relations with people that work on the show, or even people who are big in the community per se? I mean, is there like kind of a mentality that you want to work with people and you don't want to drive anyone away? So basically, my question is, is there any sort of anxiety that comes with that? You don't want to make people angry. You want to, because there's a lot of eyes on you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean, and it's a fair question. There are a lot of eyes on Equestria Daily, and it can be a little trying at times trying to balance the content that we get in with what we actually, end up posting and stuff like that. I mean, we have to make sure that we present a fair face to not only the public community, but to like Hasbro and such like that, but also try to be as fair and balanced as we can to the quality of the content that we get in. Unfortunately, that ends up with us having to, dismiss some content because it could be upsetting to certain people that could have effects on Equestria Daily and stuff like that. So it's a constant battle to balance the content that we do get and trying not to step on the toes of the people that are out there in the community and within the official corporate the corporate sphere that encompasses Hasbro, the Hub, and DHX Studios.
Okay. Is there any instances in particular that you think you could speak to concerning the last question that have happened that you possibly had to nick something because it might upset some people or might not go with what, say, for instance, Hasbro wants?
We haven't actually gotten any real, as far as I know. We haven't gotten any sort of cease and desist or requests from Hasbro and such like that. So I think we're doing a good job as of now, but we still try to be very careful with what we report and things like that, while still being able to give as much information as we can to our audience and such like that. We don't want to try to hide things and things like that. We want to make sure that our viewers and whatnot get as much information as we are allowed to give.
Okay. Has there ever been any sort of worry that maybe something that you're putting out might, annoy some people and then it just ended up has been totally fine?
Yeah, we've had some cases, maybe some things that popped up during the whole Derpygate scandal and whatnot that happened a while back. We try to stay incredibly neutral and stuff like that, as news sources should. So if we have an article or something like that that could probably stir some stuff, we have behind the scenes discuss it to quite some length before we put it up and things like that. We don't want to stir things up because ponies are meant to be fun and things like that. So we want to make sure our viewers have fun too. So we want to just be as neutral as possible.
Alrighty. Now, obviously a lot of people will say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think a lot of people could apply that possibly to Equestria Daily, while others might say, maybe there's some ways it could improve. Now, you personally, do you, and maybe even not just you, but maybe you possibly speaking for the rest of the staff, is there any sort of goal to do bigger or perhaps different things with EQD? Or do you think that, as it is right now, it could totally run as it has been for a couple months now and continue to run until this fandom is totally, dead, and it would still be totally fine?
Well, I think Equestria Daily is always trying to look for ways to improve and involve the community more and more. I mean, more and more recently, we keep hearing the things like, oh, we're elitist and stuff like that, and we, don't connect with the community at all and stuff like that, and we only support the, higher echelon of, Tumblr people, artists, musicians, and stuff like that. And, we really don't believe in that kind of mentality. So we're trying to do things like try to involve the community more. Like, for instance, with our, I think a great example is with the whole naming the jet blue pony kind of thing that went on just within the past month or so. I mean, that was all a community-driven effort. We tried to get people involved to, develop names for it, send it to the jet blue people, and then they would come back with what they thought were their favorites, and we voted on it. We also have ideas for events to get people involved, and we really just want to have the community have a lot of fun with ponies and such like that. And as a result, we have even asked I think it was within the past month, Seth even set a thread up to gather suggestions for things that we could do to improve Equestria Daily. We're always looking for ideas and such like that. We want our viewers to have fun and just help to improve the community as a whole.
Now, I gotta ask, and this is obviously mainly prevalent within your realm, or your biggest realm, which is the nightly roundups. Why all the cake?
I'm not sure, other than the fact that it's quite delicious and sugar keeps you up at night.
Fair, very fair. Is there anything coming up for you in particular, or for the site as a whole, that you're really excited about?
I'm personally very excited about the next December draw off. It was the thing that I don't know. I guess it got me into the site, and also was the biggest thing I had ever done up to that point. I'm planning on hopefully the finances are good. Planning on holding another one in December. So I'm really looking forward to that and hoping to give some tablets to some very, very promising artists.
Okay. And then Candlelight Gardens is happening this weekend, and as far as I understand, it is you, Fee, and PK going. Did I miss anyone?
Nope, that's it. Us three are going to be there and hoping to enjoy it to our max.
Yeah, is there anything exciting in particular that you plan on doing, either in the sense of promoting the site, or in terms of you just having fun?
The biggest thing to me is just meeting the fans of the site and fans of Pony itself. I just want to meet these really enthusiastic, happy people and shake their hand.
Absolutely. Well, you're definitely going to get a chance to do that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to this, or you'd like to say to any of our listeners?
Other than I really appreciate the support I've gotten from the fans of Equestria Daily and the people who like my posts, and also to just fans and the fandom in general. I really appreciate the community and how friendly it is, how supportive it is, and just how awesome it is. So just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we'll have this going for many years to come.
All right, and that was Calpain with Equestria Daily. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on to the show today.
Hey, no problem.
That was actually pretty cool interview, I gotta say.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the sentiment, bro. It's really great hearing that from you.
No problem, bro. Ohio, I got your back.
You were the reason I keep going. You were my light.
I try.
You were my knight. You were my knight in shining armor, as it were. And how many times can Four String make that joke? Tune in next week.
Should I play My Heart Will Go On for you?
No.
Oh, let's do it. So yeah, once again,
any references to Titanic, I will destroy anybody who references that.
And stop referencing Homestuck.
But it's better, so much better than Titanic, so it's worth referencing.
I don't know.
So anyway, if you're interested in contacting Calpain, you should definitely check him out on Twitter. That's CalpainEQD. Or you can email him, calpain@equestriadaily.com. And you can find him at places like the convention this weekend, Candlelight Gardens here in Ohio. He'll be there along with, as he said, PK and Fee from the site.
All right.
Very nice. Sounds good to me, man. Yeah, that was definitely a good interview. And from that interview, we are going to move into our fan content. We're nearing the tail end of our show tonight. And this is where we highlight stuff like fan art, music of the week, normally a fanfic of the week, but not. But once again, I deeply apologize. I just did not have the time to sit down and read one. But
Artfan, you're fired from fanfiction.
Actually, you can't fire me. I'm quitting, and I'm handing over the fanfiction segment to Nemesis, who will likely be picking it up from this point forward. So look to him for all your lovely fanfiction knowledge. He's on fanfiction far, far more than me, so I'm sure he's going to be able to find some gold, and I think it's in good hands.
Oh, yes, I can find some gold, but I'm not sure if people are going to hear it.
Only one way to find out. So from there, we're going to hand it over to LordFunkyFist, and he's going to kick us off on the artwork of the week. LordFunkyFist, show him what you have for us today.
Show them what you're working with. Shake
Yeah,
it
show 'em.
fast. Watch yourself.
Show them over
Shake it fast.
sound.
Show them what you're working with.
No.
Show them through links in the description to what you are talking
Get down with your bad self, LordFunkyFist.
What have
If
we
I
done?
do say so myself. But yes, instead of highlighting just one artist, we're gonna highlight instead just a couple of different artworks, because I think we all agree that would be a little bit more easier to do, because highlighting one specific artist is a little bit harder as time goes on. So I think this will be a lot easier for all of us, and it'll be a little bit more thorough. I think so, but. I'll start off with a couple that I picked this week, and the first one is called "From the Life Twilight," and I know a lot of people might say it is supposed to be from the life of Twilight, but I usually let that slide because the artist is actually Russian, so we'll just chalk it up to yeah. But anyway, the picture is a really nice one. It depicts something that I guess people are kind of indifferent about, and it's anthropomorphized ponies, but it's a really nice one featuring anthropomorphized Cadence, Twilight, and Shining Armor when they were younger, and it features a young Twilight building a sandcastle while Cadence is helping her and exchanging looks with Shining Armor. So it's got something cute for everyone, and it's got the shipping for everyone, and it's really nicely painted. It's a really nice scene, and one thing that was funny when I was looking through this artist gallery was that she signs her artwork with "Holy," and when I first saw that, I thought that was the character saying "Holy," like they were about to swear, but that was just me, because
Nice.
it was a picture that fit really well with that, but yeah, really nice one. And second one is Cadence and Queen Chrysalis by Egris, however you want to pronounce it. And it's this really fascinating one where it's a digital piece, but it really looks like a really well done traditional piece, and it makes sense because the artist says that it was done in Corel Painter, and I've used Corel Painter a couple of times in the past, and it is really good at mimicking traditional art. So I'm not surprised that they were able to effectively do a really nice kind of bristle effect with the colors and the texture. And it features a really, again, kind of humanist looking Queen Chrysalis taking a heart with Cadence kind of cowering from below. I'm sorry. And it's got a really nice storybook feel to it, and again, like it has lots of nice texture and brushwork, and works really well. The next one is called The Slump by T. Dryer 1. And this was one I can kind of personally relate to, and I think a lot of people who do artistic things like writing, music, art, anything creative in general have experienced throughout their life, in which we see Twilight kind of concerned looking over a very distressed rarity in the middle of her boutique. The lights are really dim. The only light going in is from the light from an open door. It's creaked, and we can see there's mess thrown about, and it's supposed to capturing when someone goes through a dry spell or an artist block or what have you. And I think that I think there's something we can personally relate, because I have literally felt exactly like that, minus the whole mannequins and Twilight looking over me and everything. But it's definitely a really impactful image, and it's something that will probably strike a chord with a lot of people who've experienced it, and if not, then you'll definitely feel the emotion that they were going through with it. And the last one I want to cover for the moment is one that I again another personal favorite called that's titled Carrot and Derpy Super Special Saga by Orion, and it's a pixel art, which is something that I really like, and it's a pixel art scene depicting kind of a fictional game starring Carrot Top and Derpy, which the duo has been shown in the fandom quite a bit as being unusual best friends, and it may be lost on some people, but it's referencing a Game Boy Advance game called along the same title, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which I consider to be a really good, probably one of the best Mario RPG games, but that's a different story. But it emulates the style really well. The sprite art is nicely colored. It's got really nice details. Even though some of it are edits, it still looks really original, and it could really pass off as like a screenshot for an actual Pony game.
Nice.
Exactly. So, no, those are the 4 that I picked for this week. And, well, of course, we'll have them linked in the description and everything, so you can check them out yourself and possibly favorite them if you have a DeviantArt account of your own.
Awesome.
I gotta say, that look that Cadence is giving Shining Armor in that one pick is too sultry for this podcast.
We're gonna have to edit this out.
It's more sultry than Greg Gotti. But
oh no.
I like them all, even though it looks like in that last one they're about to like try to hurt Pumbaa from The Lion King. And that's just really sad. It's like, why would you want to hurt Pumbaa? He's not going to do anything to you. Except sing.
And fart.
And fart. That's about it. But yeah, all very good picks this week. I especially enjoyed the Cadence and Queen Chrysalis. And it's interesting because I usually am not a huge fan of, like, kind of humanized stuff. So, but, like, this is good. Like, I like it. So, I think it's mainly because of the Chrysalis design. That's really cool.
I got nothing to add, honestly, because I'm just looking how far these, and, well, I'm usually not a huge fan of Anthro. So
yeah, that one kind of threw me off because of that, but
I was like, is that Anthro? Is that a bikini? Oh, yes, it is. It's a bikini top. Why is it? Oh, it's Anthro.
And now
Damn it, Funky!
Nemesis is like, why am I having all these feels? I don't want to have all these feels.
It's okay, Nemesis. Just focus on the Twilight.
Oh.
Just like how happy she is.
Wait, but she's really little.
Well, what?
Head toward the Twilight.
Don't do it. It's a
so
trap.
Happy.
You're gonna break Nemesis's brain.
I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm apparently sending mixed signals. I'm sorry.
I like the slump, just because.
Because that's very sad, and that gets you off.
yeah, cry for me. Yes. Oh, yes.
Good night, everybody. Oh, jeez. Well.
Don't we have some music?
Yes.
Do we?
We do actually have some music. We have 3 songs this week, and I'm going to hand it back over to 4-String, who's our music guy, and he's going to take us on into these. 4-String, lay down the tunes.
Wait, I thought you were going to do music this week.
You usually always do the music. I'm hosting. I'm hosting.
I usually always. Those contradict each other, because if I usually do something, it would mean I always do something.
You always do the music.
But you said you wanted to do
it. I never said that at all.
You said it to me in bed last night.
Man, I was drunk. It was a wild party. So.
Well, big surprise. Big surprise. He doesn't remember again. Anyway, moving on to the music. I'll mend my broken heart eventually. I have 3 songs for you this week.
Heart will go on.
My heart will go on, indeed.
The hell it will.
I do have 3 songs this week, and I decided to pick an overarching theme here.
I noticed.
Yes, in that originally I was going through all of the music. I gotta say, this week, at least looking on Equestria Daily, there was a lot of good stuff that came up this week. Like, I was very, very happy with everything, and there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to use that didn't, and it basically ended up being because there were a lot of songs that came out that were very much of a similar structure, which is to say instrumentals. And some of them are instrumentals more in the orchestral sense, while others are in the more, actual instruments, like not orchestral, more like your traditional instruments.
Okay.
And the first one of those is a song by Dr. Dissonance 1. It's called Inner Struggle, and this song is, as it says in the title of the tune, Fallout Equestria inspired. So if you've read Fallout Equestria, this is probably going to do a lot for you. If you haven't, well, it's still going to be very interesting. It's a very, very ambient song. I think that's something that we can really say about all of these, but I think especially this one in the next song I'm going to mention too. But again, it's Fallout Equestria theme. There's like a rising cacophony of sounds here, and there's definitely some string-like instruments there, but you can definitely tell it was, this or it seems to be a lot of samples at least. If I'm wrong here, I apologize. But the really cool thing about the song, I think, is there's always kind of like this bass underneath, that the kind of like the groundwork to the song is just kind of always rumbling beneath it. And it's a very unnerving song. It's definitely a song that you might expect to hear in some sort of like war setting or kind of like a post-apocalyptic or something like that. And I think I wouldn't go as far to call it creepy necessarily, but I think some people might find it such. And yeah, I mean, this is a very, very interesting song. So I thought I gotta throw this in there. So that is my number one song for the week.
All right.
Yep.
Number two I've got this week is another. It's a very similar song to that. It's entitled "The Halls of Nightmare," and it's by a YouTube user called Legendary. If you recognize that name, it's because we have featured Legendary on the podcast before a couple weeks ago. I believe it was episode two or three. I can't recall which one exactly, but it was for Marching for a Brighter Future for the Solar Empire. And this week...
Oh, that was episode 3. I think.
Was episode 3?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And for this song, it's very much a song that is supposed to be around, the whole Luna Nightmare Moon. More Nightmare Moon than Luna. But, again, very ambient, almost in like a dark industrial-ish sense, if you know, like that kind of like ambient, dark type of music. Sometimes you'll kind of hear it in like noise in like local settings. Like, usually it's a little harsher than this, but the point is, it's very dark, and there's a lot of interesting sounds coming from this, and there's really not even that many. It's still very minimal until at one point there's kind of like this sigh, that like breathing noises that kind of sell it, to me at least. So that makes it even creepier than it already is, and I think the pick really sells it. If you check it out on YouTube, you look at it, you listen to the song while looking at this pic, which, by the way, is a fantastically drawn pic, and I'm not sure who did it. On the bottom right says Eventide. Is that the...
Actually, I looked through the picture because I recognized the style, and I saw that it was an artist on DeviantArt. Her name is, if I believe before, I believe they changed their name. Before it was Crappy Unicorn, but now they're Cosmic Unicorn. And I believe because like the link to the picture, it had the artist's signature at the bottom, and yeah, I recognized because that was definitely their style. But yeah, I think the picture definitely goes well with the music, and it really, they really go together really well and just set the mood, like as you were saying.
Yeah, it's definitely a very mood-centric piece. Like a lot of these are, which is kind of what happens with orchestral or instrumental stuff. It kind of has to be because you don't really have lyrics to kind of set the pace of what this is about. So yeah, like the idea behind it is, if you're in the halls of like this strange night castle type thing that Nightmare Moon might reside in, what's it going to sound like? And that's basically what this song exemplifies. It's a very, very interesting tune that I think a lot of people should check out. Actually, I think everyone should check out, even if you're not that into like instrumentals that are very minimal. I think you're really going to dig this. And then finally, I have a song that's a bit more of a traditional orchestral tune. It's called Legacy of Star Swirl, and it's by Carbon Maestro. Now, this song actually originated as a cello duet by the same artist, and was eventually made into more of a full orchestral type sound. And it's definitely one of my favorites in terms of the fandom when we talk about orchestral tunes. It's very pompous. It's really hard to explain. I mean, it's just very much a very good orchestral tune, and that's the best way I can. It's honestly the best way I can describe it. I mean, you might be able to find a better way to describe it if you listen to it yourself, but I will say that I very, very, very much enjoy this song. It's very, very, very well composed, and I checked out the original too, and that as well, very well done. Carbon Maestro is definitely someone I think to look out for in this fandom. There's a lot of really cool stuff that Carbon's doing. So yeah, that's the music for the week that I have chosen for all y'all.
I dig it. They were all very, very well composed. I'd have to say the eeriness of Fallout Equestria and the Nightmare Moon one, that was, especially the Nightmare Moon, that was like I think what sold those. I think Nightmare Moon's the most effective of the three, actually. The Halls of Nightmare one.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because as minimalist as it is, I think the minimalism actually makes that one.
Oh, absolutely.
It just sets such a really cool atmosphere, just like with how...
Absolutely.
Yeah, just how the creepiness and the eeriness of it, I really enjoyed that one. That was by far my favorite.
Yeah, the Halls of Nightmare, like, if that were to start playing, if I were just in a dark room, I think that would just scare the ever-loving lights. Yeah, it's like I would just... Yeah. It would be like the opening of The Ring where they find that woman in the closet dead with her mouth hanging open. That would be me if you were to find me after that happened. But as much as I like that one, I think I like Legacy of Star Swirl even more. And I know that you were having trouble trying to, I guess, describe it. But for me, it was like...
It's just a very epic tune.
Yeah, this is something like, when I was hearing it, I was like, this is something I could definitely hear and like in an RPG game, like easily. It just has that setting, or like it has that tone and everything where like it could easily just fit in there somehow. And I guess that goes back to like once we covered before where we said like, oh, it could something sound like a Skyrim or something, but this one sounds like it could be in a more traditional kind of RPG or something, because it just has that really, like, I hate using the word, but this really epic feel that I think it would work really well. But I think out of the three, I think that one I enjoyed the most, but I did still really like Inner Struggle and Halls of Nightmare. So
after listening to all three of them, it was like, the first two in particular, but even a little bit of the third one, I was sitting there listening to it. I was like, it was really dark ambience particularly for the first two, and I'm sitting there like, should I be brooding right now?
Absolutely.
And the three, I definitely have to say the Halls of Nightmare was the one I really liked the most between the three of them. Agreeing with Artfan, oddly enough.
That never happens.
This is the first one for the podcast.
And if Legacy of Star Scroll, I went and listened to the original version as well. And between the two, I actually prefer the orchestral version you did right here. That we're looking at. Yeah, between the two, I definitely prefer the orchestral version because I do like the original, but the orchestral version just for me I just like it more.
Mm-hmm. I agree as well with that.
And also, I've never read the Fall of Equestria thing, even though I've always intended to get into it. But it's just like you see it and you're like, wow, that's really long.
Oh yeah,
put it aside for
sure
later.
Is.
But I still like this music that he did there.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, like I don't have much experience with Fallout Equestria at this point. It probably is like Homestuck in terms of just how long it is, but I still, even though I don't know nothing about it, I still appreciated the song and could understand what they were going for with that as well.
All right, so there was a lot of discussion about songs this week. Yay!
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, you picked some good ones.
I do what I can.
An embarrassment of riches this week.
Yeah, there are so many other songs out there also that, I could have included that but didn't. There was just a lot of good stuff this week. I'm hoping that this definitely keeps up, even though that will make it harder for me to choose things, but I think that's a good problem to have.
I was going to say, we have faith in you. We know you bring the goods every week, so no worries there.
I do what I can. Again, that's my catchphrase now because I keep saying it.
Indeed. Well, I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have once again sadly come to the end of our show.
Oh man. Oh god. Oh man.
Again?
Oh god.
I know.
Well,
it gets sooner and sooner every week.
Actually, this is longer than last week. But let me make a shout out really quick. As I did last week, if you're going to be at Candlelight Gardens this weekend, come say hi to me because that'd be really cool. And I like you. I like you. I am not going to be drunk during the convention. It's after the convention. But I've officially figured out I'll be staying at the Days Inn, not the Holiday Inn. So I will be at the actual convention hotel because I waited a little too long on this one. But whatever. And so if you want to party, if you're there and you want to party, just hit me up, bro. But I'll be hanging around the actual hotel, the convention hotel too, most nights. So I'll see you around, I suppose. But yeah, come say hi and check back next week. I'll definitely be doing kind of what Nemesis did for our first episode with Everfree Northwest, except I'll be talking about Candlelight Gardens and what happened there, and yeah, so
we can expect a 2-hour podcast on that too.
Oh boy.
I'm going to try to limit it. I probably won't be talking too at length. That's
Don't try to ramble like I did.
That is the goal. We will see what happens. So, Art, you wanna tell everybody about where they can find us on the social media and the like?
Of course. Well, you guys know you could find us on YouTube. You can also find us on Lisbon, and we are also on iTunes. And was there anything I'm missing from that list?
How to pronounce the website properly?
It's Libsyn. Pony411.libsyn.com.
Yes.
And then we have our twitter.com/pony401, and we will also have links to everyone else's personal Twitter accounts in the description, as well as our email, which is pony401podcast@gmail.com. You should email us there if you have any questions or concerns. You should also comment on things because we don't really get any comments. We get views.
We want feedback.
It's interesting because
what are we doing right? What are we
yeah,
doing
it's interesting
wrong?
because I'll see videos that have less views than us, but will have more comments, and I'll look at our videos and we don't have any. Now maybe they're just withholding their comments because they don't want to hurt our feelings. You know what? Let us have it. If we are doing something wrong, or not right, or could be doing something better, we definitely want to hear about it. And you can also talk to us on the Pony401 Twitter account if you'd like to do that as well, or approach any of us on Twitter just personally, and that works too. So
definitely.
And also, I would
Yes.
like to thank everybody who's been listening on Equestria Daily these past few weeks. We've started, submitting there, and it's worked out pretty well so far. We've seen a good jump in downloads and views, and we're very excited about that. And we hope that you guys will continue to listen, as I hope you are out right now, because we had Calpain on today. So, if this is your first time listening, welcome aboard, bro. And that's about it.
Oh yeah, and may the journey be good as you continue on through our podcasts.
All right.
The journey will be rough. You must be brave. It might be dangerous.
Good luck.
Good luck. Pious!
We should link that in the
Anyway.
description too.
We should look at the description if no one knows that glorious video.
But yes.
So anyway, Art, would you like to send us out of here for today?
Thank you, everybody, for listening. And thank you to our lovely crew here for all the news and all the cool fan stuff we always get to cover.
You're welcome,
We'll
Artfan.
see you guys
I love
same
you.
time, same place next week. And as always, please, pony responsibly.